Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate your reviewing this DVD based on the information we were made aware of that you might be in. My name is Beverly Henry with Grace Properties. We help people who are faced with the possibility of losing their home. I'm not sure that that is your situation, but if you're watching this video, it most likely is. If that is the case, I want to start off by saying that I'm sorry. I know that most likely it was not your fault. Something probably happened in your life that made it very difficult for you to keep up with your payments. I have been there before. I know what that is like. My brother has faced that exact situation, and that is one reason we decide to work with and help people who are in your situation. Unfortunately, based on experience, I know that these problems don't just go away on their own. I want to take a few minutes to discuss your options, and from there you can make a decision on whether or not it makes sense to give us a call and have us assist you in this process. To start out, I want you to consider two things. Am I in a place where I need to, and am I ready to leave my house, or do I want to stay in the house? If you want to stay in the house, there are a few options. A few of them are permanent and one of them is temporary. Your first option to stay in the house is obviously, and please excuse me for even saying this, is just to catch up with your payments. What I mean by that is, if you don't have the means yourself, perhaps you have a rich relative, or maybe you've overlooked a 401k plan that you can borrow against, or maybe you'll come into a large sum of money, a bonus for working or something like that, that you can catch up your payments with. What you want to do is to call your bank or mortgage company as your first action step. When you call them, you may find out that they have an automated system that will allow you to pull a payoff. If you are within 21 days of foreclosure, be sure to speak with a live person so that they can help you or direct you to obtain the total amount due. Be aware that this could take up to 5 to 7 days. If the bank has to go through their attorney to get that information, it most likely will. Either way, that is good information for you to have so that will help you, being your first action step, to determine what you need to do from here. So remember, just call the bank or mortgage company or their attorney and find out what you owe on your property. From there, you can decide what you want or need to do. If you can catch up, that would be best in keeping the property. Your second option is a forbearance or loan modification. If you haven't already considered a forbearance or loan modification, each of these are restructuring of your current financial situation to allow you to be able to stay in your home. What the bank would do in a forbearance is take the amount that you owe, let's say it's $7,000, and they will tack that amount onto your regular payments. So let's say you have a $1,500 a month payment and you are 4 months behind. That's $6,000 being $1,500 times 4 payments, plus an extra $1,000 in attorney's fees, late fees. So now you owe $7,000. What they would do is take that $7,000 and they would divide it over a period of months, maybe 6 months, maybe 12 months, sometimes longer. And they would add that to your normal $1,500 a month payment. If you cannot afford that, then you definitely need to look at a loan modification. Unfortunately, a loan modification is not guaranteed. It's difficult to obtain with little promise from the bank that they will even cooperate. Few ever go through. Most requests for loan modifications do not go through. While it is an option that banks will consider, you need to be aware that it is a very difficult option. To see if you would even qualify, you would take your total income, subtract all of your expenses to see what's left before you make your house payment. If you have less than 31% of your paycheck left, you most likely will not qualify since you would not be able to afford the terms offered by the bank or mortgage company. If you are in a position where you can direct more than 31% of your paycheck to your mortgage, you may have a chance. Be prepared though, as most requests for a loan modification do not go through. Many banks will postpone an auction as long as you are fully engaged in the loan modification process. However, if you are ready or less than 3 weeks away from auction, I strongly encourage you to look at the possibility that you will be moving out of the house, because I would hate for you to wait until that last second and get kicked out of the house. Your next option, this one is a temporary option, But if you want to find a way to stay in your house a little longer, one thing you could consider, and know that I'm not an attorney, but I encourage you to speak with one, is bankruptcy. Bankruptcy may buy you 2 or 3 months in your house while you and your lawyer work things out in court. This is not a permanent or long-term solution and will have an adverse effect on your credit. This option must be well thought out and reviewed with your lawyer before proceeding. That is an option that you have, and it could keep you in the house a little bit longer. Your final option outside of foreclosure itself is a short sale. That option is available to you if you are ready to leave and you know that you need to let the house go and you just need someone to buy the house. It is time to review how much you owe on the house and what the property is worth. That is where we come in. If you give us a call, we can actually review the value of the property. We have agents available to represent you, although we are not a brokerage and that is not our priority. We can find someone to help you out and list the property. If the property has enough equity in it, the house could be sold on the market within 30 days. If you have that much time. If you don't have that much time and you know you need to get rid of the house and you owe more than what the property is worth, say you owe $100,000, but you know similar houses in your neighborhood are selling for $90,000, you may feel that there are no options for you. But I can promise you there are. That option is called a short sale. What happens is that the banks take a discount on the amount that they are owed in order to facilitate the quick sale of the property without having to take you to foreclosure. Many people ask me if a short sale is worse than foreclosure. I can tell you it is absolutely not as bad as a foreclosure. Foreclosure is the worst thing you can do, even beyond bankruptcy, for your future home buying situation. Foreclosure will look much worse on your credit report if you ever plan on buying a home again. You need to be aware of that. Many times it can affect you for 7 and even up to 10 years. While short sales can have a negative effect on your credit, since you are already behind on your payments, it typically will only affect you for a year or 2. Your other credit and payment history will affect how quickly you will be able to get back into a home. We have had people get back into a home as quickly 1 year, even 2 years after their short sale. So be aware of that. So what is a short sale again? Essentially, it is you and someone else agreeing to work with the bank on your behalf to get you a discount so that you can sell the house quickly at a price that someone else is willing to pay. We specialize in short sales. That is all we do. We have been able to stave off auctions at the 11th hour, but please do not wait for that long. It is not the easiest thing to get done. But if you are facing foreclosure and need out before the foreclosure process, we can help. We would appreciate the opportunity to explain your options to you and make sure you understand exactly how it is short sale works. How long you can stay in your home, which could be many more months during the process. How much it will cost you, there is no cost to the seller. In fact, we are very good at getting all liability released from you completely so that when the bank or mortgage company takes that discount, you have no further liability. We can help and be of assistance to you. A call at the number below or email me at beverly@gracepropertiesdfw.com. Thank you for your time, and we appreciate your consideration in working with Grace Properties.